All right, so after battling mimics, possessed armor, and even the ghosts of murdered kids, you'd think the Misfortunate Bastards had seen the worst of this place. Well, they were dead wrong. Now we're going with them, down into the darkness, for the absolutely terrifying conclusion of their ordeal in the House of Deception.
And this is the sound that met them at the bottom. A constant, chilling whisper that just wouldn't stop, echoing up from that secret staircase the ghostly children showed them. It wasn't just a sound, It felt like a promise, a demand coming from whatever was waiting for them down there. So they start the descent, and with every step down, the air gets colder, like supernaturally cold. The walls are just lined with these old, rusted chains, and every now and then they pass these little alcoves with altars carved with these truly hideous demonic faces. And that chanting, it just gets louder and louder, literally pulling them deeper into the very heart of this cult's madness. And then they're out. They emerge into this huge, flooded cavern. In the middle of it all, there's this raised stone platform, a dais. And look up. Dozens of chains are just hanging from the ceiling, swaying. The chant isn't a chant anymore. It's a deafening roar, and it's coming from figures they can't quite see on the ledges all around them. The feeling of dread in that room, it was just suffocating. So, Rothan, our warlock, he does what he does best. He reaches out with his senses, trying to get a read on the evil in this place. But what he feels, wow, it's like the air itself recoils inside his mind. Something old, something grotesque is stirring in a dark corner of that chamber, and it knows they're here. And then it rises from the murky water, a massive, shambling thing made of rot and vines and just swamp filth. This wasn't just some random monster. This was the demon's chosen guardian, and it was here to deal with the people who just crashed its master's party. The moment the fight kicks off, these ghostly cultists just flicker into existence on the ledges above. You can see them now, swaying back and forth, their chant hitting this insane fever pitch. They want a sacrifice. But the bastards? No way. They weren't going to offer up one of their own. It was time to fight. Toriel takes one look at the sheer size of this thing and just goes. No hesitation. In a complete blur of motion, he launches himself onto that central altar, immediately taking the high ground. A classic, smart move to get a better angle on this towering beast. Okay, so while Toriel is being all acrobatic, Garth does what Garth does best. He meets the monster head-on. He lets out this incredible battle cry that just cuts right through the cultists' chanting, and he charges. His greatsword just rips into the creature, tearing away these huge chunks of rotten vines. He's putting himself right between the monster and his friends, taking that brutal first hit. Meanwhile, from the back, the range assault is just a beautiful thing to watch. Rothan is unleashing these crackling eldritch blasts of pure purple energy that slam into the creature. And right alongside him, August is sinking arrow after arrow deep into its nasty hide. It was just this relentless storm of magic and steel. And just when it looked like this thing was unstoppable, the whole battle changes. Matthias, the cleric, raises his holy symbol high, and this column of pure, searing divine light just erupts from the heavens. It completely engulfs the Shambling Mound. And this creature of rot and shadow, it lets out this unholy shriek as that sacred power literally burns it from the inside out. With one last thunderous roar, the mound just collapses. It's nothing but a heap of smoldering filth. And the chanting stops. For just a second, there's silence. You think it's over, right? Nope. That victory lasted all of 5 seconds. Because the house itself, enraged that they refused to play its game, starts to tremble. It's awake now, and it is furious. So the bastards are scrambling, trying to get back the way they came, and they realize, oh no, the fight is not over, not even close. The very stone and wood of the dungeon, of the whole manor above them, starts to move, actively trying to kill them. The house isn't just haunted anymore, it's become a living tomb. Their escape was a total nightmare. First, the tunnels start twisting, shifting, trying to get them lost. Then, when they finally make it back up to the manor, brick walls just slam down, sealing the windows and the doors. The fireplaces start belching this thick, poisonous smoke, filling the air. And finally, when they get to the front door, these razor-sharp blades spring out of the doorframe, slashing Garth as he has to physically force their way out. And that right there, That was the house's true face. All that polished wood, the perfect furnishings they saw when they first walked in, it was all a mask. The real house was this: a death trap, a prison made of pure malice, designed to do one thing: consume anyone who walks through its doors.
So they finally burst out into the misty street, just choking for air, wounded, and they turn around to look back. And the house? It's standing there, looking perfect again, like nothing ever happened, like it's watching them. And that's when Garth, bloodied but absolutely resolved, speaks for the whole group. They're not just running away. They're gonna end this.
And they didn't waste a second. They grabbed torches, any flammable debris they could find, and they set that evil place on fire. They just stood there and watched as the flames ate the rotting wood and the cursed stone, the smoke coiling up into those ever-present mists like a dying snake.
And you know what? As the last main support beam crashed down into that inferno, they all felt it. This weight just lifted from the air around them. The curse was broken. The endless evil of the Death House was finally gone, leaving nothing but smoldering ruins and ash. So, with that grim job finally done, the long journey home could begin. For 4 long days, those creepy mists of Barovia just clung to them, like a final reminder of the horrors they'd just been through. But then, the fog broke, and on the 7th day, carrying the relics of their fallen friend, they were finally back home, inside the walls of Cauldron. But there was one last surprise waiting for them. Their old base, that run-down bathhouse, it was totally transformed. There was a new banner hanging over the door, and warm light and the actual sound of laughter is spilling out from inside. What in the world? When they go inside, they're met by 2 new people, sent by the Red Claw Guild. First up is Brunna Emberforge, this tough-as-nails dwarf who just looks like she's seen it all. And next to her, there's Lyra Stonewhistle, a super charismatic halfling with a smile that says she knows more than she's letting on. Turns out the Bathhouse isn't just their hideout anymore. It's now an official guild hub, a real safe haven. So let's recap. They survived a house that literally tried to eat them alive, and they've come home to find a brand new upgraded base of operations. But a huge question still hangs in the air. They just wiped out a cult that worshipped the mysterious lord of the land, Strahd. And remember, in his own letter, he called them pathetic. So, if the Death House was just some minor evil, something beneath his notice, what kind of terrifying darkness does the true master of Barovia have waiting for them?